What's up, you guys? It's your girl Taya to be here, and welcome to my chat party. I have missed y'all so much. I feel like it's been a long while, and I definitely have to take part of the blame for that because even after our little holiday hiatus with Beverly Hills, I missed last episode and coming and chatting it up with y'all. So forgive me for that. Forgive me. I was like, I'm going to show up late to my own mother freaking party, but nevertheless, here I am. Okay, here I am. And so I have missed you guys so much. Sending you all hugs and kisses. Happy New Year. I hope the year is off to a great start for you all and that you've just left the old behind and make room for all the new great things. And for those of you, if this reaches anyone cross country, because I know there's been a lot going on there, or if it doesn't, you might know somebody that way. Just definitely know prayers have been going up for these wildfire devastations that have taken place, and they'll continue to go up for sure. And I'm definitely trying to figure out ways that I can help and make my contributions for sure. Very scary, but hey, sometimes at the same time, things have to be taken down to be built back up into something better, so you just never know. To all of you who will stop by my party for a little bit, a lot of it, show up fashionably late like me, a little early, whatever it is, subscribe so that you become part of my guest list. I appreciate you and thank you so much in advance for those of you who swayed with me and rocked with me and rolled with me into this new year. Thank y'all so much who are still subscribed. You guys know you are super special to me and it's super love from the bottom of my heart. But we got to make it do what it do and get into this episode for sure. I'm just going to share my little thoughts, my little opinions on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14, episode number 7. And so here and there, I'll sprinkle my thoughts a little bit if I can incorporate into this episode, the things that I didn't get to discuss last episode. And so I feel like too, even last episode, y'all wasn't really giving a whole lot to me. I could be wrong. And nevertheless, we're pretty much in this episode picking up where we left off, which is Kyle and Dorit getting into it about Kyle still texting PK. And Dorit said to Kyle, she doesn't like her yelling at her and it gets real heated. And apparently, veins are popping out of the side of Kyle's head. But at the same time, Dorit, I'm like, you need to go somewhere with that hand because you over here lunging at her and putting your hand on her face. Like, girl, if you don't, like, I understand that you're upset and you have a whole lot going on. But at the same time, you need to stand down. Okay, because if that thing would have got physical, now if Kyle would have slapped your hand out the way, then what? You know what I'm saying? But you coming at her with the hand, like, girl, and so I kind of felt like at the same time, like, did Dorit just low key see PK's face in Kyle in that moment and take out all the aggression that she really wanted to take out on PK, but didn't get an opportunity to? Because even in the last episode, you guys remember when she was talking to Bose and she had shared with her that her and PK had a 4-hour therapy session. That's a long time, can I say, by the way. And then he just went like stone off on her. And so we know how sensitive Dorit can be and how, things hurt her feelings. So I'm like, maybe since she didn't get an opportunity to go off on him, she figured this is the perfect opportunity. So I don't know, maybe not. But Kyle pretty much says at the end of the day, listen, I'm going to stop texting the man. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done is done is done. Right? And so now I love me some Garcelle. Y'all already know these things. But when she asked Dorit how she was doing in that moment, I was like, hold on. Now I got to be with Dorit on this one. When Dorit was like, are you asking because you really care? Right? Because I'm like, now, Garcelle, love, okay? You just saw her have a whole meltdown, right? Of some fashion, just this like less than 2 minutes ago. And at the same time, you really don't see it for her. So why would you be the one to ask that question? Like, what made you the suitable candidate for that? You need to sit back, be pretty, and keep your mouth shut when it comes to Dorit. And that's the bottom line. So I wasn't mad at Dorit on that. I couldn't blame her. And couldn't blame her either for just kind of being over it all and just getting up and stepping away because she really needed to. And I just feel like, again, as I mentioned before, her situation is so weighty. And I feel like if you can't really trust most of the woman in this group anyway to be around, or to feel like, they don't really have your back during this difficult time, then again, as I mentioned, I think then you need to take a break from the show. I really do. Sometimes people just do way too much for the dollar. When you have these real life things going on, fall back. Some things just are not worth it. You can always return when you're in a better headspace and a better mind frame. And I feel like, did we hear in the streets, or did I read in the caption somewhere? It was really quick because I didn't look into it, that Kyle has even decided to take a step back from filming. Let me know if I'm wrong, y'all. But I was like, Bose. Now, that's my girl and all, right? But just as I watched on last week's episode, I felt like she was giving too much to one side. Another point, I don't know if you guys agree with me on. A lot of what I might say might be part of an unpopular opinion, and I'm okay with that. But I feel like in this instance, she's doing it again when it comes to just really holding Dorit down, because I'm like, Bose, while I can appreciate your intelligent assessments, you don't know Dorit like that. But we'll get into that a little bit more, okay? And I feel like it's just based off of one perspective that you're getting. I'm like, have you spoken to Sutton yet? Because we ain't seen it, Have you spoken to Kyle yet? Because we ain't seen it until this episode. And even with that, I mean, it's like, well, let's even forget Kyle. I'm gonna go back to Sutton for a second, right? Because Dorit hasn't always been the kindest to her, and she hasn't always had her back. There's been times where we've seen her kind of talk down to her or even clown her. You know what I'm saying? When she wasn't around, I think the one of the instances that sticks out to me is when they were walking around one of the seasons, just heightening the fact that, excuse me, Sutton drinks so much, and I can remember even, excuse me, Dorit having a lot to say about that behind her back and all the things. So I'm like, they really haven't had a solid friendship or real friendship at the end of the day. So I think, you know, you're going, like I said, Bo's a little too hard without all the information, without all the evidence presented. So while some might say that Sutton has been showing out, and I will admit, in the last episode, in the Viper Room, she was a little overzealous with her point. And as the word goes, it is what it is. Being given to the fact that they feel she's volatile at times. I'm just not mad at her, because I'm like, maybe it's a combustible buildup for the way that Doritos treated her in the past, and it's just coming out. I feel like Sutton's going to have to do a little bit more for me to feel a certain way about how she's coming at Dorit, or to say that, she's not, you know, being appropriate, or whatever the case may be. So, anyways, um, I'll say, with Bose coming in as strong as she is, like I said, it's just a bit unfair to me. And so I think too, if she would do that, if she assessed everything and got everybody's side, then her thoughts might be a little different. Maybe. Anyways, Kyle said it best, right, in her confessional. Things look a certain way to the newer people in the group, and they do. And Kyle heads to Sutton's house. They recap the prior night. Sutton in her confessional says she feels like Kyle has a problem when people stand up to her. I definitely agree with that. And that Dorit's finally standing up to Kyle. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess. Garcelle arrives. Kyle and Sutton end up playing a round of tennis. And Kyle just shares with them that, she had called Mauricio just to share the whole text situation with him and how Dorit has a problem with that. And Garcelle and Sutton agree that they would have been pissed off too, but however, to the fact that Kyle has been reaching out to PK, or having these conversations or texting situations with PK without Dorit knowing. Does definitely seem shady for sure, right? And so let's fast forward. Sutton is saying now that Kyle has had to deal with infidelity too. It causes Kyle to sit there and look all confused, or some kind of like, what do you mean? And like Garcelle said in her confessional, the rumors have been floating for years about Mauricio and his cheatations, right? We've heard it. And it's like, at the end of the day, do you guys believe that Bo has ever cheated? Okay, so we don't know, but I mean, come on. So they agree that they all don't really care to be in the company of this new Dorit, and I don't blame them at all. I feel like Dorit's definitely giving like PK energy, like I mentioned, just giving what she should be giving to him to other folks, or giving what she's going through and just making, people targets, because we can't forget too, all maybe it Camille might have been a little annoying in that moment, but Dorit still went off on her in an unnecessary fashion too, in my opinion. But anyways, now we have Dorit and Erica, who end up meeting at the interior designer's business, who will be styling Erica's home. And y'all have got to be honest, because they show a little flashback of Bose and Erica and Dorit meeting up. And I'm just not feeling this alliance that Bose is having, trying to be 10 toes down for Dorit and befriending Erica so easily. It's like, what made her gravitate to them so quickly? And I get that that could be a thing in life, right? But why? I'm kind of like, sis, did you do your homework before you came on the show? Did you? Did you? Now, at the same time, Bose is a boss, right? Bose probably had 50,000 million trillion 11,000 better things to do with her time, but you still want to be prepared. And I feel like, had she done her homework, I don't know if she would have been this clingy to them. And I don't think she realizes that she is clinging to them for whatever the reason, right? Folks might say, well, because they mesh, they get along, and they haven't done anything to her. And that's true. But their character has still spoken volumes throughout the season. And I would like to think that, you're mindful of the company that you keep. Not saying you got to shut them down, not saying that Bo shouldn't give the ladies, like Erica and Dorit, a chance. But I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, slow down a bit, Bose. That's all. And two, I just feel like it's a situation where she's going hard, almost like they're best friends already. Like, don't y'all get that? It's like they're just the best of friends. I don't know. It's like, but what's their favorite color? What's Dorit's favorite food to eat? What makes her happy? What makes her sad? What's her kid's middle name? Like, do you know? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, is it me? Am I wrong? So Dorit is saying in her confessional that she feels like it's elementary, to Erica, how um maybe because Bose had shared with them something that Sutton said, almost making it like Sutton was seeming to present a problem with Bose just kind of gravitating towards them. And so, Dorit's like, oh, that just seems so elementary to me. And I'm like, yet to me, though, it seems like Bo's drawing a line in the sand, in my opinion, maybe unintentionally, um, can be a little elementary, right? And you ain't saying anything about that. She's, to me, picked her side, and you ain't saying anything about that. Like, I don't, Bo's to me is not giving as neutral as I would like for her to give. And again, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. And so I feel like, with that being said, Dorit, you're not saying anything about that. Is it because she's Team You? But anyways, because it's like, I haven't seen her hang out with Sutton. We just pretty much saw her hang out with Kyle this episode, and that wasn't even really a hangout. Kyle was going to see about her after her recovery, or during her recovery. We just got to really see her and Garcelle, and again, that's after recovery or during recovery. But it's like, we've seen her go to yeah, like whatever. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so how come it's not elementary too, Dory? I feel like when, you always just want to pretty much whine about someone hurting you or hurting your feelings and all of that. Dorita's the forever victim. Okay. So it's like, we can call that elementary and juvenile, the fact that you can't see other people's points of views and be receptive to them without there being an issue, first and foremost. Just a mess, especially in instances when you've been absolutely wrong and then you still want to play the victim, like that time when you had your situation with Garcelle going back and forth, and you were as unwoke as you were. And I'll leave it at that when it came to her plight as the Black woman that she is. Like, and that whole exchange, even was it at Crystal's house that they had? And then they had a meetup afterward, just the two of us, just a whole freaking mess. That's what I'm saying. Bose, did you see all that? And again, these are not grounds to hate Dorit or anything like that, but it just gives you a different perspective. Have you? Okay, let me just stop right there. And so Dorit pretty much proves my point right after, by saying how it hurts with Kyle not saying what, she texts to PK. It's secretive. And in that moment, I was like, okay, girl, please. Secretive, schmeecative, freakative, whatever. But as we see later on to her point, I was like, oh, well, actually, she has a point. But we'll get there. And so, at the same time, in that moment, before I got to the real point of it all that Kyle gave us, I was thinking, well, while I agree that that should have been disclosed, right? Kyle should have definitely let Dorit know, even if it could casual, yeah, PK and I, been texting, or I've spoken to him, whatever. She should have done that. I still feel like, to the flip of that, why would she though, at the same time, when they haven't been on good terms? You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't acting like the friends for real that they used to be. Like, obviously there was a shift, right? And obviously that's why there's all this tension between them now this season. And they weren't in contact for a while. So it's almost like you're not necessarily going to be the first person that I run and tell. So I don't know. And can I just get to the point and say, with that though, y'all, Dorit, girl, even with the text or texting of Kyle and PK, Kyle does not want PK. Okay? Kyle, let me say that again. Kyle does not want PK. Okay? Now, sometimes it ain't about looks for people, right? But Kyle does not want PK. Kyle has had a man that looks like Mauricio, and I think the general consensus throughout the years is that Mauricio is a good looking man. Kyle does not want PK. Okay? You could be a great person at the end of the day. Maybe PK is, but Kyle does not want PK. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going hard on that point. By the next episode, I could be proven so wrong. I'm fine. I will lay down and admit that, but I'm going hard off of something that I don't know, that I know that I know, but I don't know, but I really feel like I know. She don't want that man. And y'all know it with me too. Okay. So I'm just like, even with the secretive of it all, what are they really discussing? But we'll get to that. We'll get to that, right? Okay. I'm jumping the gun. And so she said if the roles were reversed, that Kyle wouldn't like it. And probably not. But again, the lady said she would stop texting him. Okay. So let's be done with that. And I feel like too, at the same time, why does that hurt so bad at this point in time within friendship, Dorit, especially when you don't see it for Kyle like that? Like, yes, it would be duly noted, but I'm not going to be going as hard about it. Like, we were already kind of drifting apart anyway. So we're not in the same space that we used to be. So why does it bother you in the same way? I don't know. Bose is having fibroid surgery. That's very common, but no one still enjoys surgery, right? At the end of the day, I actually had a cyst some years ago. Actually, my first cyst when I want to say, I don't know, like probably like late teens or early 20s. I know it was before I had kids, and mine was actually the size of a grapefruit too. And when I say common, it's a common thing in women, of course. And I had one come back, or had them come back a few times, and I've had a few surgeries. Not as big, thank God, as the first time. And I actually had a surgery almost July, will be 2 years ago. And I went ahead and just had my right ovary removed. Maybe that's TMI, y'all, but just sharing anyway, for someone who might be interested or invested or get a little knowledge on it. And with that, I'm still able to have kids, but I'm thankful for the fact that even if they needed to take the other one, I'd be okay, because I've been blessed to have my kids already, and I definitely don't plan on having any more. Unlike this situation where you have certain women like Bose who are kind of having to tread a little more lightly because there's a potential for having more kids. So definitely wishing her the best with that. I know she ends up telling Garcelle that she had 10 of those suckers taken out. I'm like, my God. So yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But definitely happy that everything was successful for her with that. And I just love the fact that, her man was there after the surgery at her home, just very supportive and very attentive to her needs, how it should be, right? And so Kyle comes to visit Bose, and they establish that Kyle and Dorit have different definitions of friendship, and they absolutely do. DJ shout out to Kyle, though, for reminding me I'm not crazy by showing footage in her phone of when Dorit kissed Mo's shoulder again, which was totally inappropriate, because that was my thought. And I can't remember at what point, but I remember at the beginning of the episode when Dorit just kept going on and on and on about this texting. I just remember being like, well, did you think it was okay when you was kissing all up on this man's shoulders? And I told y'all that in another video. So I was so happy that Kyle busted out this video, right? And I can guarantee you, Dorit has found ways to justify what she did, right? I didn't know what was going on in the social media streets about it, because Kyle said that, a lot of people had stuff to say. And I don't know if she said Dorit, no, she didn't say Dorit cleaned it up, but I'm sure Dorit had something to say, right? And probably, like I said, was making it seem like it's no big deal, but it absolutely was a big deal to me, right? And I feel like, hold up, hold up, hold up. Even in watching that clip again, because there was a part I forgot about, the fact that she was nestled up all in his back, face all up in it, I was like, girl, like, you hugging him like he's the one that almost lost his life in a robbery. Or like he's the one who went through the robbery. I'm all the way confused. Like, shouldn't you been on your man like that, or have been on your man like that? Just a freaking mess, right? And so Bo says in her confessional, a hit dog will holler. And in that moment, I was like, yeah. Oh, but later on, Bose's point is proven, right? We'll definitely see that. And so Kyle and Garcelle arrive at Sutton's house again. And can I just pause for a quick question, y'all? I want to know, would Kyle be this connected with Garcelle, and especially Sutton, given their history of a tumultuous relationship, if, with all they've been through, if Dorit and her weren't, or if her and Dorit were still cool? So would she really be linking up with Sutton and Garcelle like that if her and Dorit were still good? I don't know. I just don't think so. I mean, I'm trying to appreciate what I'm seeing, but it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes it just can be irritating how people move, because it's like, if you wasn't going to be on that type of time before, don't be on it now because you need me. You know what I mean? Because others aren't seeing it for me. But anyways, another pause I had to give y'all. Pause, and pause some more, is when Sutton said that she wanted to do a party for Erica, since they didn't have a chance to do it for her when she was going through her situation with Tom. Like, what? I'm sorry, come again? Sutton Strat. Is it lost on you, Sutton, the reason why y'all didn't do a party for her when she was going through with Tom? Like, what? And I know this came up before, right? But I'm going to bring it up again. Because I remember Erica speaking to her therapist about it. And even in that moment, I'm like, girl, what? Like, what did you think it was going to be with what you were giving? And so, to that point again, why didn't y'all do anything for her, son? And she was in your face the most, Sutton. And you the one that wants to throw the party? Like, y'all feel my lips forming? Oh, because I did it before. I've done it a couple of times. Or what? Or what? Or what? She did that to you, Sutton. She was all up in your face with that. Okay? Pretty much gave you a threat also. Called you a see you next Tuesday and all the things in between. But go off, sis. Go on and do your thing. Do what you got to do. Okay? Over everything, too, it was the fact of her being indifferent to the victims. But, if that's how you want to shine, so be it, right? How do we reward that? But go ahead. And I pretty much wasn't here for the scene, but whatever. The ladies end up surprising Erica at her home. That is Kyle, Dorit, Garcelle. They pretty much put her in a car, Once they arrive, Erica's blindfolded. When they pull up, I'm like, where in the hell are they at? Because they're in a whole strip mall, and I'm seeing Sally's Beauty Supply. I'm seeing some type of dental place. I'm like, yo, this is not their typical judge. Like, where have they bought this lady? And so once she's unmasked, they actually have pulled up to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, okay, that sounds appropriate for the situation because yeah, you don't deserve anything fancy, but okay, girl. And some might think it was cute, and I thought it was shady at first because I'm like, they're telling her, yeah, we're going to give you a party, all right? This is the level it's going to be on. But on a lighter note, on a friendly note, all jokes aside, it's always cool to deviate from your norm, right? They're used to, like I said, the fancy and the luxury and this, that, and the third. But sometimes you got to do something different. Sometimes it doesn't take all that. It could be the little things, the simple things. And then it's always fun, in my opinion, to tap into your inner child. So wasn't mad at the fact that they, just kind of went and had a good time. And so they sit down to eat. Sutton gives Erica her kudos for pulling, herself back together after this whole Tom situation with her divorce and just all the craziness that went on with that and how she's proud of her. And so I guess we can say that Erica has, pulled herself back together to the best of her ability and been doing pretty well in that fashion. But at the same time, don't y'all be over there being like, yeah, that's because she took the victim's money. I ain't got nothing to do with that, okay? If you thinking it, I ain't saying it. So I'm just saying what y'all probably thinking, but I don't know. You know what I mean? And I guess we'll say she got the acknowledgement that she felt like she deserved. Again, couldn't have been me. If you were hateful to me the way she was hateful to Sutton, couldn't have been me. And so they get into Kyle and Mauricio and pretty much sharing how it sounds to them. Like, I think Garcelle was saying how Kyle really doesn't have any boundaries set with Mauricio. Like, he can call her anytime he wants, and, I'm sure he'd be over there and all the things. And she says it seems like they don't know what they want. In her confessional, most importantly, Kyle. And I agree with that. And I think I told y'all that from the beginning. It seemed like Kyle was the one carrying the baggage and the weight of emotion. And not to say that maybe Mauricio doesn't going through or hasn't gone through it or doesn't go through it, but he just seemed off the rip like he was living a hot boy life. Like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for, the single life. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? With his bachelor pad and all the things. So it's unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is. And so um she tells her, and that's Garcelle, tells Kyle to just pretty much be whoever you want to be at this point in life. And I couldn't agree with her more. I think that was great advice given, especially for the age and stage that they're in. Like Garcelle said, they've been our bosses, they have their accomplishments, their moms, they've parented their kids, and that'll never end. But you know what I mean? When your kids get to a point where they're an adult and they can take care of themselves, that's when most say, listen, I'm about to start really living my life. I've done what I need to do. I've paid my dues. And she should, definitely go ahead and do you, boo, all the day long. Right. And so Garcelle also said, go ahead and be a lesbian if you want to. And they laugh at that. And I'm like, yeah, girl, go ahead, go on. Because you want to go call Morgan. Go on and call Morgan. Give Morgan a call, tell her to come over tonight. Okay. And so Erica brings up how she met with Dorit and they had a conversation about the text. Kyle said to think that her and PK are texting anything inappropriate is gross. And I said, there's the word right there. That's the key word I was looking for earlier, like disgustingly gross. It ain't a thing. Okay. And she says she's too grown to be pulling out her phone to appease Dorit and all this other stuff. Right. And I got all that until, oh, let me say until. If y'all didn't hear me, I said until. Kyle then pulls out her phone and reads a text that she has sent to PK, right? And I said, Kyle, why did you pull that text out and show those ladies that? How did that help you exactly? Where was the win in that for you? Like, girl. And she's pretty much sharing that she told PK something to the tune of she knows he has a lot of friends, but know that she's one of them. And the things that he has shared with her, she hasn't told anyone and never will. That part right there, ding, 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 ding. And, they'll continue with the memes. Okay, girl, whatever. No. I said, Kyle, it's not just the memes, Kyle. We got to back that thing on up to the line prior to that. The one where you said the things that you told me, I haven't told anyone and never will. or whatever she said. That's the whole point of it, the gist of it. And I said, girl, that was just not a good move, not a smart move at all. I said, were you hoping all three of the ladies and the cameraman would miss that part about whatever it is that you guys have secretly shared? Because yeah, that's called the secret. And that's called, what was that per se? What was the context of those conversations? A mess. A mess. A mess. A mess. Y'all, I was like so thrown. I was like, okay, just Kyle, just go disappear right now. Just go disappear right now. Cause you're done. You're fried. You're chopped. You're screwed. Okay. And so Garcelle goes to check in on Bose. And I said, thank you, Garcelle, for telling Bose that Dorit is an embryo up her toot. Okay. And she used another word. I don't want to say it because I don't know if I can say it, but it's the place where the babies come out. Okay. And a little raunchy of a word, but I loved it. And so Bose, again, in her confession, was just feeling like, oh, that's so juvenile. Da-da-da. No, it's not in my opinion. Again, my opinion. And so she shares with Garcelle that she saw Dorit, or when she, excuse me, what she saw in Dorit, pretty much, like, because I guess she's giving a little bit of an explanation as to why her and Dorit are connected, is because, you know, in her, she saw a lady who pretty much was going through, right? She's having this hard time with her divorce or possible divorce proceedings and separation. You know, she's now on some single mom kind of tip, or will be. Then she's having issues with her best friend, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, but again, Bose, that's the problem. You still don't know her. There's deeper roots to Dorit. But Garcelle's filling her in on Kyle and Dorit's relationship, gives her a very quick one sentence, high level overview. And then she shares the text, right? That was, God, just shared by Kyle. So unfortunately shared by Kyle. Kyle, I wish you just would have kept that to yourself, girl. I know that's almost, no, that's not almost, that's being secretive also, but just be secretive in that manner. Like, I wouldn't have said nothing unless somehow or another the text came up, and then I don't know. How would y'all have gotten ahead of that? Because I just feel like you just, let's rewind. I know how we would have gotten ahead of that. Off the, okay, I don't know how we would have gotten ahead of it. I'm going to just leave that alone. I just wish the lady wouldn't have said nothing. And so Bose in her confessional pretty much was like, Kyle, you lied, right? And did. And it's like, sure, she lied, but I hope at the same time we're not going in the direction of Kyle and PK messing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that's not what y'all are saying. For the secretive things, I'm sure it's more so things about Dorit, you know? Does the text look damning for Kyle? Yes. Did she omit information initially, which makes her come across as untruthful? Yes. Would I personally have a problem with that if she were my friend? Yes. But do I think her and PK are crossing a line other than a friendship? Hell no. Okay. Kyle does not want PK, as I said 50,000 times ago. Okay. So, anyways, y'all, the music is on. The dance floor is lit. Don't be no prude and stand and hold up the wall. What do y'all think about this whole situation? Like, do you feel like Dorita's overreacting? Do you feel like Kyle played herself? Do you understand why Kyle kind of kept things under wrap if she wasn't fooling with Dorita like that? Like, what is it, y'all? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I've missed y'all anyway, like I said, so I want to hear from you for sure. This is just crazy, and it looks like it's going to get crazier for the fact that even at the end of this episode, Bose is on some to Garcelle. Well, Garcelle, girl, like, you know, how's Dorit gonna find out? You know, you're gonna be the one to tell her. And we get a little clip. It cut off at a point, so I didn't get to see the full clip, but I see where Bose puts Dorit, no, excuse me, puts Kyle on blast to share the text while all the ladies are sitting there, including Dorit. I was like, God, no. So I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but I guess we better get ready because it's going to be a thing and it's going to happen. All right. So, like I said, let me know what y'all think for sure. I've been watching some other shows, y'all, and I wish that I would have been able to review them from the beginning. Oh my gosh. Married at First Sight. I don't know if y'all are into it. All I'm going to say is Ikeche. Like they say, if you know, you know, I'm gonna leave it right there, yo. Ooh, the way I could have ripped it to him and given him an ooh, it just Michelle. And listen, let me stop getting these people, y'all probably like, we don't know what you're talking about. The way that I would have dissected that show from beginning to end and had so much to say. But I know for next time, y'all got to let me know what you've been watching. Is there anything good that I should, get into? I stopped watching Potomac a long time ago because they really didn't seem like they were about anything. And then I saw something recently where somebody was like, yo, is it time for a reboot? I'm like, oh God, it's that bad? Like, so anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get on up out of here. I spent enough time. I definitely hope that this video will find you in good spirits, put you in good spirits in some way, shape, or form. Until next time, and I'll see y'all, because I'm gonna be back to do it again, and I'm gonna be on time this time, okay? I'm gonna be on time. I'm a little on time today, but I'm gonna definitely be on time next time, okay? Until then, y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.